Yeah, I'm just going to talk about the fact that the Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight they still haven't been able to agree it, and it looks like it's not going to happen now in 2012. It just seems absolutely unbelievable to me with all the money available that they still can't agree to fight each other. The excuses keep changing now. First of all, it was the blood testing. They couldn't agree on the blood testing. Then it's become about the fact that they both want a 50%. Floyd Mayweather wants a 60% cut, and Manny Pacquiao wants at least 50% of the purse. So that's apparently now why it's not happening. There's also been arguments about the dates and about the venue as well, but that seems unbelievable to me that with all the people both guys have got on their teams, all the money involved in this fight, they can't get it all agreed. So Floyd Mayweather's fighting Miguel Cotto, which is a good fight, but it's not the fight. In the same way that Manny Pacquiao fighting Timothy Bradley, it's a good fight, but it's not the fight everyone wants to see. The fight everyone wants to see is Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. They're two people that everyone's arguing about for whether or not which one's the best pound for pound in the world, and they're both in the same weight division. So it's the obvious fight. It's the fight we've wanted to see. All the fans have wanted to see for at least 2 years now. Ideally, the best time for this fight to have taken place would have been after Manny Pacquiao knocked out Ricky Hatton in 2 rounds. It would have been huge if it had happened then. Or after Manny Pacquiao beat Miguel Cotto, it would have been and I think now. It's not quite as big as it would have been because they're both older now. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's 35, Manny Pacquiao's 33, but it's still a big fight, and it's still probably one of the biggest fights in boxing history if it happens now. If it happens 2 or 3 years down the line, which I suspect it might do if it does happen, it really doesn't mean that much. If both men are past their peaks, that's the attraction of the fight now, is that they're both arguably the best in the sport. They both have a claim to be the best in the sport. And they're both in their primes. I think if it happens 2 or 3 years down the line, then it virtually means nothing. But disappointingly, it looks like it's not going to happen this year now, because Manny Pacquiao looks like he might be fighting Marquez in November, so it looks like the fight still won't happen. And I don't really think Bob Arum wants the fight, and I don't really think Mayweather wants the fight. So I think we've got people on both sides that don't actually want the big fight to happen. And certainly Mayweather doesn't. Maybe Mayweather does want the fight, but he wants it completely on his terms. I think he understands that Manny Pacquiao is a big risk to his legacy, so he only wants the fight if he can get it on his terms, which would be him having more money and him having the venue that he wants, which isn't a way to conduct negotiations for sort of such a big super fight. You have to go in with a sort of give and take attitude rather than demanding all the terms that you want. And he doesn't really seem prepared to negotiate properly, so that's another massive barrier to the fight. But so it doesn't look like it's happening in 2012, which I think is really, really, really bad for boxing. But we'll see. Hopefully, it'll happen maybe happen towards the end of the year. But at the moment, it's not looking likely. It looks terrible for boxing.